Hi guys! I hope you're all doing well. Today I thought I'd talk a little bit more about productivity. For those of you that have been around since day one, you'd know that this channel was built on productivity, information and self-development, but today I wanted to get into some practical stuff. We're gonna go through a couple of apps that help me level up my productivity game and hopefully help you switch things up with yours. I wanted to give a little bit of a disclaimer before we started. These apps are actually free to use and available on both Apple and Android. Although some of them do offer more features at a premium price, in my opinion, the free version of these apps are actually more than sufficient and helping you with managing your different projects. And also, if you're just looking to find a new way to go about your workflow, these apps are definitely a great way to go about it too. The first app is one that is near and dear to my heart. Habitica, previously known as Habit RPG, is what kind of happens when Minecraft and a habit tracker make a baby. Now, personal development isn't the most glamorous thing in the world. Waking up at 4 AM to get all your stuff done and having this flawless morning routine isn't something that a lot of us can jump right into off the bat. A huge buzzword when it comes to these topics is habit building, and Habitica does just that, but fun. Habitica allows you to customize your habits and track them in a way that contributes to a more fun picture. It is an RPG, otherwise known as a role-playing game, where you actually have an avatar in the app, and based on the custom habits that you design for yourself and track as you go along, you gain in-game rewards. For example, things like in-game currency like gold or experience points that you can then pay forward and level up in the game, and also have fun exploring other different elements. Something I really like about Habitica is how it allows you to track different types of goals, so not just big audacious goals but also short, mid-term, long goals. For example, if you wanted to start meditating for 5 minutes a day, you can set that as a daily quest. Those of you who are familiar with games would know of this term called dailies, which essentially means tasks that you can do on a daily basis and gain continuous rewards as you progress in the game. Habitica also has a social system which I'm quite a fan of. Habitica also has a social system which I'm quite a fan of. It's a communication platform that allows you to share your different achievements and also bounce off different ideas in terms of designing your systems and time management. Because Habitica has been around for a couple of years now, the community on there is actually pretty streamlined and they want to see the best in you. So there is a very cooperative approach when it comes to dealing with time management and all sorts of different struggles in between we might have while trying to develop ourselves. The only con on this app, I would say, is that it would take a little more time to unlock some of the more interesting elements of the game. You would only be able to customize different sub-tasks once you've crossed a certain level threshold, which I'm not completely opposed to. Because number one, the level threshold for these restrictions aren't that high, and number two, that's kind of the game's way of navigating around staying ad-free for its users. Overall, this is a great tool to start out with if you're trying to implement some smaller micro changes in your life and still have fun while feeling engaged. The positive feedback loop and reward system built also keeps our monkey brains happy and ultimately more likely to stick to the goals we set for ourselves. Before I go on, I wanted to shamelessly plug my current playlist on all things productivity and self-development. And if you like this sort of content, show some affection. The next tool that I want to talk about is If This Then That, otherwise known as IFPPP. This was developed based on the belief that as humans, we only have a finite amount of energy. If This Then That operates based on that, literally. This tool helps us automate our digital activities by connecting to a large variety of apps such as Google Calendar, Calendly, Fitbit, all into one platform. And from there, you set up your own automation. You can connect Google Weather to your alarm app. That way you will get a reminder at the start of your day if the weather forecast says it's going to rain sometime while you're out. This is a very simple example, but can go really far. Operating on the premise of if this happens, then do that, allows us to really cut down on our screen time, and not to mention how distracted we can get when we check our phone for these updates. Being able to free up that mental space and not having to worry about all these little things that sap away at our willpower and mental focus throughout the day allows us to be more streamlined and a lot more focused. The only downside I see to this is how easy it can be to fall into the trap of creating micro lists. This means spending more time setting up automations and designing all these little systems more than actually spending time doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. Hyper-focusing on the micro details of your day is something that is pretty common and not difficult to overcome. Simply taking a step back to look objectively at your entire day while setting up these automations is a very simple way of getting around this. If you find yourself wasting a couple minutes at a time just checking your social media while you're at it, then this one's probably for you. The last tool that I want to talk about is Any.do or Any.do. There are heaps of task management systems out there that are worth their salt, like Evernote or the very fast growing Notion. But sometimes you just want to keep things a little bit more simple. As simple as you can if you have 50 tabs open all the time. Any.do allows you to do just that by setting up your custom tasks and providing the option of adding attachments and setting reminders for specific subcategories on your list. I actually really like this humble app because it has a couple of thoughtful features that you wouldn't really be able to find in its more competitive counterparts. For example, you can compare your task cards side by side and the app would basically let you know if there are duplicate tasks on your different sheets. That way, you wouldn't have to go around the block and do the same task twice over if you knew that you could do it all at once. This can be a really helpful tool when it comes to batching your tasks. That way, you can save time by not having to go to the same place over and over again to do the thing. Another feature that I really enjoy in this app is that it allows you to sort your tasks out and filter them through deadlines. This can be such a helpful way to prioritize what you want to do, especially when you feel overwhelmed by the laundry list of tasks that you have to work through. That way, you can dive straight into what you have to do and not worry about where to start. The only con I can think of is how a lot of the more niche features like location-based reminders are restricted to the premium paid versions. However, it is extremely streamlined and well thought out. It has an extremely intuitive user interface and also a really elegant design. You check this one out if you're looking for something in between just throwing together a list, but probably something not as complex as Notion or Evernote. And that's it! Those are a few of my favorite productivity apps that I keep finding myself coming back to and have helped me stay on top of my game. Hopefully this gives you a little bit more insight into the different tools that are available to you out there that can help you maximize your workflow and your efficiency. Let me know in the comments below, do you prefer a more visual sort of layout or are you a more old-fashioned, good old simple text kind of person? Don't forget to leave a cheeky thumbs up and thank you so much for choosing to share your time with me today. I hope this video was helpful and I will see you guys soon.